point for that meeting was that so that when the information at the various ministry, agency, and commission are gathered, given to us, we at the Ministry of Information will be able to send those information out to the Liberian people. Because we are not everywhere, we are not going to be everywhere, so we depend on them, and we look forward to seeing how best they could send us information. So yes, the meeting was well attended, and we appreciate every all of our bosses who sent their public relations officers at that meeting. It was well attended. The hall was jam-packed. Over 85 persons attended that meeting, I can safely say. And we have a fruitful discussion yesterday. I know you want to ask for the challenges, but those were administrative issues that we discussed. But the key and the essence of that meeting was to have a one GOL communication hub. So what we did was that last year, Internews sponsored us, and we conducted one workshop for them, giving them the importance attached to the job and the importance attached to them, listening with us, linking their offices with our office so that we'll be able to send out government information. And take for example, if the project that is being undertaken at the Ministry of Agriculture, we may not be there. So the only way we can get that information, we'll get that information from the public relations officer assigned at the Ministry of Agriculture. So what we did was that in Buchanan, we established a WhatsApp chat room so that information will be, filtered in there, and then we use them to disseminate to the Liberian people. And that chat room has been upgraded. We are updated in. Because of the huge number of persons that attended yesterday, we added them in that chat room. So we are asking them that moving forward, if they are having any program, we are begging them that they should be able to send us the invite, and then if possible we'll send our people there so that we'll know clearly.
Yeah, because Mr. Tompo, I based on what you just said, that is all about channeling the government public relations through one channel. So I know others might be wondering whether these public relations officers or public relations offices don't have the power now to call press conferences, to send out press releases, or to engage the press individually.
So what we intend to do is that yes, they have. We will not censure them because they work on with bosses. And so if the boss is calling a press conference, and if we are not in the know, and we are only asking them, if there is no press conference, send us a release in our chat room, and then we'll make it out of a talking point.
Okay. So before you called this meeting on yesterday, what has been happening? Has there been a problem in the communication track of government?
I think in some time the communication system, one way or the other, is improving on a daily basis. We need to put together the strategy how to communicate government information. Public information dissemination is different from the way people think that we should be talking in the society. You have to put the information together, filter it out. You know which one is which one to send out, and which one to keep. So when we have them together, when we have this information sent to us, we'll be able to send them out. So we only ask them, we told them, please, when you get back to your bosses, the best thing we can do is that please tell them that we are safe, here, and we need information. So what we did also is that we try to have a public relations officers conference.
Okay.
In the coming months or so that we will have stakeholders and the actors themselves will come and participate. But in the meantime, we are also anticipating having a workshop with them sometime in the coming weeks or so out of this city, so that we will clearly give them exactly what we want for them and how they should communicate, and then how we should communicate, so that there will be no distorted information dissemination in government.
All right, Mr. Tompo, unless there's anything you want to close up with.
So I'm glad that that meeting was held, and we want to thank Inter News for for sponsoring that meeting, and we're still looking forward to see how best they will still sponsor the pending meetings.
Okay. Thank you very much. He is the Deputy Minister for Public Affairs at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism, Jarp Tompo, telling us about a meeting held between, with government public relations officers. It was held on yesterday, and it was done through his office, and that's an initiative of the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs, and Tourism. Keep listening to the program. Very shortly, we transition to our final guest on this edition of the program.
Beats on the beat.
Indeed, count your blessing, name them one by one. Then you will know what thing Glupa can do, you will know what thing Yiswa can do, you will know what thing Nangara can do. Welcome back to it. It's the Bumper Show here on ELBC Radio. We have our final guest on the program. He's Samuel Deepa. He's the president of the National Federation of Motorcycles and Tricycles Association of Liberia, NAFOMTA. That's how it's called, and he's going to be together. We will be discussing several steps that have been taken by the organization to address issues of motorcyclists or the entire motorcycle and tricycle sector of the country. Welcome to the Bumper Show, Samuel.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure in this cruising studio.
Yeah.
This hour.
The last time you were here, I remember it was with the transport
yeah.
union,
yeah.
And you were talking about this registration of motorcyclists and tricycle. How are we with that process?
Yeah, the process is on, and we'll always be grateful to the cyclists, the motorcyclists, the pen boys, and the KK boys across the city. People underestimated their resolve to be peaceful, and by the grace of God, since the process started, even though the government don't really have the full capacity to have it done the way we expected, but the motorcyclists have been peaceful. They have been turning out in their numbers, and everywhere you go, they are all pulling in. Nobody is even holding them. They are riding back by themselves. And some of them will go and stay online for weeks just to get a plate. And the process is peaceful. We must recommend them.
How is it? What are they paying, and what do they get in return?
They pay to the Ministry of Transport for 2 tires, $25, and they process their information and they get a plate to be placed on the motorcycle, which will serve as the first instant of identity for the back. Because
commercial motorcycles now started to have
plate. Yeah, okay. Because what happened is that what we experience, the reason that we encourage all of them, yeah, it's like by law, before you play the role in Liberia, you must be able to get a plate. But then we saw it as identity, or there is this identity gap in the sector. Motorcyclists, as long as you get on bike, people see you as motorcyclists. Whether you are not regularly riding bike, whether the bike
You
you are
riding
on,
Apache saddle stuff.
yeah, whether you are on it for criminal activity, they call you motorcyclists. Whether you are on it for livelihood, they call you motorcyclists. So we think we should reach a point where those of us who use bike for daily living, we should be distinguished from those who use bike for different reasons. Because when one man does wrong today on bike, all of us are called criminal. If that thing that man did is how to go criminal, we are all called criminals. If it is good, then they will only praise one person. So we think that there should be identity that will distinguish us from those who are using bike for different reasons, because our own is for business, our own is for sending our children to school, our own is for paying our rent, our own is for sending ourselves to school and finding homes for ourselves. So those who use their own for criminal activities, we should be distinguished from them. So we saw the plate as a way of identifying them first, and we are like taking other steps to see how we can identify motorcyclists in the country, because this is what putting bread on our table. This is what the bulk of the young people in the country depend on. So we don't want to sit for few guys who their intent is to just commit mayhem across the city for the few other activities to let outright the many goods that we are doing in the sector.
Yeah, you have started with the the license plate, and that is in collaboration with the Ministry of Transport. And he said that you are planning more, in terms of, first of all, to identify motorcyclists, commercial motorcyclists. So, what are other plans you have? Whether they've started, how soon they want to start? Just run us through them.
Okay, thank you so much. I don't know whether I already introduced myself. I'm Samuel G. Daba Jr.
Yeah, I introduced you.
Okay. I'm the national president for Motorcyclists in Nigeria. Okay, like with what you talk about, I think you see the shirt on me. You are in studio.
Is that my motto?
My motto. You are seeing my motto. This is a shirt that I wore today because of this awareness. This is this is a way of public awareness for a program for identity, as we said, in continuation of what we as the Minister of Transport to do with the plate. Or what happened is that, first of all, motorcycle riding in Liberia has been termed many ways by many different people. People would call us suicide bombers based on what the team motorcycle riding have done to them. People will call us Arab or criminals. They call us regulars. They call it irresponsible. But again, we are proud of being a motorcyclist because this is what putting food on the table of our family. So we think there should be a way that
don't mind it, depending on whatever power with. Don't mind all that talk. Go ahead, bro.
So we are trying to find a way that those on bike can be dignified as well, so that the people can not only see us as the way they see us, but there should be a new way that we will bring out, that the people will see us as that new group of people that are standing for peace, standing for the rule of law, standing for the progress of themselves and how they call their country. So what happened first of all was that we thought we should rebrand the sector. As part of rebranding the sector, what we try to first of all do, there have been 13 different unions in the country. So we first of all work to make sure that all the 13 legally registered unions in the country come together as one. That was the first step. And all the 13 unions have come together as one under the one National Federation of Motorcycle and Tricycle Association. The Minister of Transport was part of that discussion, and there were different people and different national stakeholders that were part of that and stuff. So as part of that arrangement, we want to get to a point where all of the identity that the motorcyclists themselves will be able to elect their own leaders. All right, over time, group of people will just get together, they go to lawyer, get article, and they are union, and whoever they think is the president, that person is going to be the one to be the president. So we think that the motorcyclists themselves should be the one to elect their leaders. The way to do it is to put all of the people together. For example, there were different warring factions in the country, and all of them had to go to Ghana to make a decision to set up an interim leadership to come back in order for constitution to like be in place. In 2005, we went to election where the people themselves were able to choose who will be their leaders. So this interim leadership was set up by putting together the 13 different union, and I am the interim head of that body. And by the grace of God, what we are on now is we appointed a constitutional committee, put different advocacy groupings, and some who are the riding back themselves on board to come up with a draft constitution. At the end of the day, what we will do is we'll call representatives from the 73 districts in the country to one place. We are targeting Bangka, for example, that we are going to call representative of the in fact, of all cyclists in the 73 district to go there to endorse their constitution, all right? Okay. So that they can be part of the entire process. After that, there will be one national convention called, again, representative from the 73 district, but it will start with parking lot leadership, where riders in a given parking are going to elect their leaders of the different parkings in one district are going to elect their district leaders, the different district leaders are going to elect their county leaders, and the county leadership is going to go to one national convention to elect the national leaders. By that, you are having that ladder, and motorcyclists themselves are involved into the process.
So you're saying now that motorcyclists, have agreed to have one leadership, because I know in recent time there has been a lot of hauling and pulling between another fraction that is of one John Kia, and I think it is your faction as well. You might correct me if I'm wrong. And it was moving up and down, cyclists pledging their commitment to the other, while others pledge their commitment to the other. Are you saying now that you all have agreed?
No, first of all, there have been no fragment. Let me tell you something. Manasarif still have supporters in the country. Manasarif, up to today, if you open your radio to tell who all still support Manasarif in the country,
of course,
you will have over 50,000 human beings supporting Manasarif, but that does not give her right to say she's still president of the country.
No, it's not in that case.
So what I'm telling you is a correction that I want to make. All right, the brother you talk about, in fact, he is an imposter. He was impersonating. He was the head of the front two. He was there for 2 years. 2 years elapsed, and he failed to take that body to
so the front two is
he was
another
expelled.
union?
He was expelled. Front two was an umbrella grouping for 6 unions.
Okay.
There were 6 unions that came together and formed the front two. Those 6 unions that formed the front two, they are currently with the National Federation. So, for example, we were having OAU in the country. If those who funded OAU say that we are going to AU, does one man who is not even president of a country stand to say, no, in fact, and say OAU? No.
Okay, so the unions that form too, that's the Federation of Motor.
All of them are the one that came to us and say, no, we are not transitioning to the National Federation, because the actual intent of forming this body was to make sure that all the unions together. But then we did not succeed, and all us we had 13 unions, and only 6 were there.
So there's no hulubalu in the.
We don't have any such. Anybody who wants to do it, that person is impersonating, and credence should not be given to them.
Okay. All right, so you're listening to the Bumper Show here on ELBC Radio. We have as guest on this last segment of the program Samuel Topla. He has
Samuel Deba and Samuel G. Deba Jr.
Samuel Deba. Sorry that I had to call your last name that way. Okay, he's the president of the Federation of Motorcycle and Tricycle Association of Liberia. He's our guest on this last segment of the program. I'm sure, you people out there, because we have thousands of cyclists across the country, you listening, you want to ask your questions, you want to, make your comments and put your contributions through. We will have that coming up later on the program. But I'm concerned about motorcyclists and politics.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm concerned about that. You're talking about coming together now. Sometimes you will have a general assembly or a convention where you're going to endorse a constitution, and start to move on with one union. But I'm concerned about some things that have been happening in the past where
Okay.
motorcyclists have been accused of, being intruded into by politicians. Especially, we are coming down to elections now. Politicians will want to use, motorcyclists not for bad reason. Let me just say that, but sometimes politicians going somewhere, they like to post their morale with
No, but
several
don't even be
motorbikes.
scared. Some with bad intent want to use them for bad reasons.
Granted, that's
Yeah. So let's be clear about it.
But my question I want to put through is that how depoliticize the organization intends to be.
All right, thank you so much. First of all, the National Federation is non-political. We are not for any political party. We have members across the country that are from different political parties. So the National Federation is never going to be a political organization.
Wouldn't the leadership go again endorse one candidate and say you are our consensus candidate?
The National Federation is never going to be involved with that.
Okay.
In fact, we are more than concerned with what we will do to improve the sector, what we do to how they call rebrand the let me say sector to give good name to motorcyclists, and we think those things politics are not one of what we are even contemplating as a tool to use.
Okay.
What we are really more on is innovation and what can we do, and it is one of what is the main discussing point today. That is my motor shirt that you are seeing on me here today. For example, we are going to election, as you said. Politicians are going to buy motorcycles. Some of them are going to buy over 500 bikes. Those who are part of political party. One political party in the country is going to buy 400, 500 bikes, and their supporters are going to be on it. And the worst thing about it is that if we are not careful, their supporters on bike may go and cause problem because they are on bike. People say motorcyclists are the one.
Yeah.
So what we are doing is that we think before we go to election next year, motorcyclists should be properly identified. So the plating was part of it, and what we've done now is we have built an app. This app is called My Moto, and it is a share you are seeing here on me. The app is called My Moto. The app will be used to carry on the population census for all motorcyclists in the country.
Okay.
All right, and the way it will be done, we want to digitize the sector. We want in fact, to have an easy way that we are going to control motorcyclists in the country. We want to ensure that the passengers are safe. We want to make sure that you, Jarp, when you are to your house and you are sending your children to school, the bag that is going to carry your child to school, you can just know the bag on your phone, so that tomorrow when you can see your child, you will exactly know where to go.
My Oma selling pepper. She ain't get smartphone to get app on it to know how to identify, a bag rider that is taking her grandchildren to school.
Yeah, but one of the things also is that Jarp, if your Oma doesn't have it, you have it, and you can be able to guide the process. Because it's like what happened, what we don't want, if a Oma does not have smartphone and she cannot be able to monitor, but the Oma is able to stop a bag and can make sure that the rider that is carrying her son or let me say grandchild, that rider either get plate or that rider get that number that we are going to discuss here today.
Okay.
And you can remember that number in case you can see your child, communicate to us or to the stakeholder, call that number, and just by dialing that number on the app, we are going to know exactly who that person is.
Okay.
So what we're happening now is that the My Moto app have been built already. We have trained some of our data clerks. We are intending to train about 300 data clerks. We have trained more than 50% of that number. We have trained more than 50% of that number, and we also need about 300 smartphones. We are procured more than 150 of that. And what will happen now is that we are now engaging the different parking lots and the different zones to inform the motorcyclists that the My Moto app is about to be used to take your record. Other than what we are talking about, there are ghetto dwellers that are every time going in the street by night and using cutlasses to hijack the bike from the rear riders. And those very ghetto dwellers, when they jack phones and bad, you people who are affected think that we are the one. So for the bike not in fact, when the bag is stolen, there should be easier way to locate it. There should be easier way that in fact we can find it. The way to do it is we are going to use the app to take all the information on the bag, to take the information of the riders. And part of the talk is that bulk of the guy who you see riding back there, they had nickname. When they go in and see, it is a nickname that they use. When they go to the house, it is their real name that they use. So the house does not know the nickname that they use, and the street does not know their real name. So the app is going to know that. Because
know both of the names.
Yeah, both of the names. So when come to you, will ask you for a nickname, will ask you for your real name, and the app is going to store it. We are going to take your picture, and the app is also going to store it. We are going to take all the relevant information about you, where you are from, so that at the end of the day, we are going to save those information in the app, and the app will generate a code, a number that will be given to you as your ID number, and that ID number, at the end of the day, should be placed on the back, either on the helmet, on a jacket that you have, so that it can be visible, that anybody can see it. So when you judge, you're standing along the road here, someone check your phone, as long as you picture the plate number, or you picture the number that like if I will get that person, when you place that number on the app, that person's entire information is going to come. And you are going to know exactly who that person is. And when your bag is missing, we are definitely going to easily trace it, because at the end of the day, when that bag is sold or when that bag is taken somewhere and we come in contact with that bag, just by entering that bag information on the app, we know exactly who the owner of that bag, and it will make it difficult for no criminal who easily steal back from one point to another point to even do it.
The plan sounds so ambitious, and I'm wondering how are you going to get this done? Who are you engaging in terms of assistance? Do you have waiting individuals, or you depending on individual motorcyclists to?
Motorcyclists are the one that we depend on, and by the grace of God, we are currently using our number to have it done. We are having a partner called the Tuma Enterprise, even though they don't have all to do it. So part of the reason why we are coming up at this time to inform the public is any interested Liberian who think that the security threat posed by the using of motorcycle in the country is something that need to be addressed, you can join us. If there is a government official somewhere, or if the government think that this is a process that is going to help us when it comes to security, they can also join the process. We are open to get support, whether you are opposition, whether you are in government. What we want is how can this setup get better. Whatever hand that is available to make it set up better, we are willing to work with you. We are non-political. We don't want to know which your party you are from. If you are international organization, if you are having a foreign mission, the doors are open, because motorcyclists and tricyclists in the country need help day by day. In fact, there are bulk of our colleagues that are currently behind bars at different prisons across the country, because the bag they were riding, someone stole it from them, and the owner asked them to pay, and they don't have money, and today they are in jail. So we have to find a way. And what we also doing is that we are bringing it up along with trackers. We are going to give that tracker for as cheapest as possible. And when the trackers are on the back, for example, if your bag is missing, even if it's taken to the farthest country, as long as network is there, we can sit at our office and say, look, your bag is in this house, and let us go there and then get it. Because we can't sit and our members' bag are taken away from them and nothing we are doing about it. We cannot sit and few people continue to commit mayhem, and the majority have been, in fact, bad names have been placed on them. So what we're doing is to make sure to ensure the safety of our members, and to also ensure the safety of the public.
You've been working with motorcyclists for some time now, and I'm just wondering whether you have a rough estimate of the amount of motorcyclists we have in the country today.
There are over 200,000 motorcyclists in the country.
200.
Over 200,000.
200,000.
Over 200,000 motorcyclists in the country, and we think that number is a number. In fact, that's part of the reasons why we are trying to bring on this entire program. Because at the end of the day, we want to know motorcyclists not only by the back. We want to know motorcyclists by the number of persons that are ex-combatant, for example. We want to know motorcyclists by the number of persons that are high school graduate, for example. How many of them are high school dropout? How many of them are pure Liberian? How many of them are from different countries that are riding back in the country? Because at the end of the day, when there is an intervention in the country, pertaining this bike riding, it should be based on evidence-based talk. Now, oh yes, in fact, in Painesville, there are about 20,000 riders. Out of the 20,000, 10,000 of them are let me say, high school dropout. So we are targeting this because it's when we engage them, we are going to know exactly who they are, and those information are going to be clear and available. And based on the information, when you want to make intervention, you are going to make intervention from an informed background.
Let's talk a little bit about welfare for motorcyclists. You know, you talk about identity extensively, but talking about welfare, you know, in fact, I'm one of those that believe, you know, years from now, most of our offices or so will be clocked with the women, because as it is now, you know, the classroom is gradually getting empty of the guys. Most of them are mainly, you know, motorbike operators. Yes, some are in school, but many of them, you know, just take that to be a full-time job now, and they not into academic activities again. But I don't know how long you will take riding motorbike. You will have to transition to something else.
Oh yes.
But talking about the welfare, talking about the insurance of motorcyclists, what are you thinking in that direction?
First of all, part of the reasons that we are doing this is to bring on board different welfare programs. Yes, insurance is also part of what we